July 2026 is the beginning of the golden age. The astrology of this month is extraordinary. The energies are absolutely off the charts. And I don't want to sound like a news reporter when I say that we're in unprecedented times, but we are actually in unprecedented times. I have never seen an outer planet configuration like this all throughout history. And people have been predicting that this specific configuration happening this month is going to usher in a golden age and change civilization as we know it. This is wild, massively significant astrology, and it's going to affect all of you differently because it's touching so many different areas of your chart. We have Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and Jupiter all making powerful trines and sextiles to one another, creating these two minor triangle configurations. And as they're coming together, people are starting to call it a basket configuration. I see it as a pyramid, and I'm going to explain that later. But we need to talk about the famous astrologer Andre Barbeau, who predicted this basket or pyramid configuration to bring in the golden age, to bring in a new era. He said that this would be a civilizational turning point in a very beautiful, harmonious way. Because all the planets are making sextiles or trines with one another, they are harmonious aspects. So we hope that it's going to manifest in a beautiful, harmonious way. But the thing is with sextiles is, and that a lot of people don't know, that sextiles are only harmonious if we take action on them. So as a collective, we need to activate this energy. The energy's in the sky, and we need to do something with it. We need to be at the right frequency in order to bring that golden age in, or attract that solar flash or new earth or that awakening that everyone's talking about. There has to be this deliberate activation or a deliberate action in order to make that energy positive. It is not like a trine where they are just naturally harmonious. With sextiles, we have to activate them, and as a collective, we need to activate this energy. We need to take hold of this energy and make something with it. And we have a lot of turbulent energy happening around us right now, and we're all feeling that. And that's what Andre Barbeau also said, was this was going to be a turning point after all the global crises of the early 2020s, because he also predicted the pandemic before he died. And he's been predicting this. His last prediction was July 19th, 2026 was going to be this civilizational turning point where the golden age was going to begin. And with these sextiles though, a challenge or friction has to happen in order to activate it. And humans are like that too. We need friction and challenge to activate us and to make us move and to make us change, because humans can become so easily comfortable and complacent, and they will conform to the status quo and they will do what they're told, not you guys, but talking collectively here, that we need something to snap us out of it. We need some type of friction, and that is what is happening in the world right now. We are getting the friction that we need to make us make a collective decision that we want a solution. We want to make a change, because sometimes things need to get bad and have all this turbulence happening in the world for people to look to something else, to look to new innovative solutions. And this is what this pyramid configuration is asking us to do and is giving us the opportunity, but we need to take hold of that opportunity. It's not going to happen by itself. The minor triangle between Uranus, Pluto and Neptune are going to be pretty much in a triangle for the next 2 years. So this isn't going to be this dramatic change and shift. And I know some of you don't want to hear that because you do really want that dramatic shift to happen, but just know that this is the beginning of this shift, and July is a pivotal moment in time where the catalyst is going to occur for that change. Something is going to happen on a collective level, because the outer planets are all focused on the collective energies. It will affect us individually and the areas of life that the houses that these energies are targeting for you, But on a collective level, this is what Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune and Jupiter kind of rule. They rule the collective energy and what's in the forefront of our consciousness. And that is something is going to shift and change there. And we have all during July, we have activations of this basket configuration over and over and over again. And it's going to bring some extreme transformations, especially to the fixed signs. So that is Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Leo, because it's all going to be making aspects to you guys. And it's going to be this catalyst where it causes you to take hold of this energy, because these sextiles, the energy in the sky right now is supporting us to make a change. So now is the time to do it. And it's important to mention that this is a very active masculine configuration. When we're talking about planets and signs, there's masculine energy and feminine energy. The masculine is the thing that pushes things forward. It makes things happen, while the feminine signs are the ones that lean back and are more receptive to their environment. But there's no feminine energy in this configuration. They are all in masculine signs, fire and air. We have Jupiter in Leo, we have Neptune in Aries, Pluto in Aquarius, and Uranus in Gemini. It's all masculine. So all of the energy is pushing us to make the change, to make it move, to make something move. We're not being receptive, we're not waiting for something to happen. We are actively participating and almost interrupting the collective narrative that's being held now. We are the change makers, and we need to work with the astrology right now to make that happen. So we need to take advantage of this harmonious configuration, because it is, if we work with it, we need to take hold of the energy and do something with it. And all the masculine fire and air signs are going to help us do that. But I'm not saying it's going to be easy. There's still a lot of friction and turbulence and extreme energy, and it's not going to happen all at once. The minor triangle I'm talking about between Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune are lasting for 2 years. So we are still pushing to make a change, but it's going to be gradual, and we need to be persistent and not give up. And that's why I'm saying it's such a big shift for the fixed signs, because they are the most persistent signs out of the entire zodiac. But when we're talking about all the different activations that are going to happen, we have a major one happening tomorrow that is pretty much the beginning of this basket configuration, which is Mars making a conjunction to Uranus on the 4th of July, Independence Day. Now, what is that Independence Day movie about? Aliens coming down, and I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it could. But with Uranus in Gemini, this is all about AI and technology. It could be a fake invasion, a lot of people are talking about. It could be all, smoke and mirrors and not real. And a lot of what the energies are saying right now is that we don't know what's real or not. So we need to be aware of that, but also I just see it so synchronistic that Independence Day movie came out about alien invasions, and then this massive conjunction between Mars and Uranus in this basket configuration that's never been seen before, just happens to be on 4th of July as well. So I feel like tomorrow, or in the days after, something big could happen. And they're always trying to give us messages in movies. They actually know what's going to happen. And maybe that Independence Day movie is talking about this 4th of July 2026. Who knows? But when we're talking about Mars conjuncting Uranus, this is going to be a collective, shocking news that is going to come out and change our course on a collective level. And the energy is really going to shift after the 4th of July. And I can't talk about these things as one singular event because they're all connected, but Mars conjuncting Uranus and Gemini is going to bring this surge of energy to make us change something. Or maybe there's been something you've been wanting to change for a while and haven't yet, and then all of a sudden, bam, you've got to do it right now, because Mars works very quickly and you don't have time to think about it anymore, you just got to do it. But know that you are supported in making these changes right now, because all the energies in the sky are actually helping you facilitate that change. This is the first activation of that triangle and this basket configuration. So we're going to see very quickly how this configuration is going to impact us in our own lives. We're going to see where the friction is and what area of life it's specifically targeting for you and what action needs to be taken, because some type of disruption is going to happen, because Uranus is the planet of shake-ups, disruption, chaos, and that doesn't have to be external, because we also have Mercury in retrograde as well, which I haven't talked about, but that is very introspective and internal with the sign of Cancer, which I love because that's the only water energy we've got, which is we're going to have to ground into our water energy because we have so much fire and air, masculine energy. We need to lean into the Cancer energy where it can be more of an internal chaos or disruption where we're needing to shift something within us and shift our frequency, which is exactly what we need and is exactly what this configuration is actually asking us, is we as a collective need to shift our frequency. And how do we shift our frequency? By doing the inner work and going within. We shift our own frequency, we can shift everyone around us. And when I'm saying that the collective needs to get involved to take this opportunity to bring in the new age and the golden earth, new earth, a lot of people might feel really upset and kind of disappointed, like, oh, well, when we're thinking collectively, most of the collective isn't going to shift their frequency. Most of them aren't going to raise their vibration. Most of them aren't going to help make a change because they're also stuck in the matrix and the status quo. But we are powerful enough, the ones who are awake, the ones who are wanting to bring in the new earth and bring healing and this harmonious energy, we have the power to do that. If enough of us come together, we can shift the collective frequency. And that can then manifest a new reality for all of us. So I see a lot of potential here, but it requires us to be conscious of these energies and also knowing that the rest of the collective need friction, need challenge, need something big to happen on a world stage, is what I'm seeing, to actually make them want to change. It's actually going to make them want to activate the harmonious, peaceful, loving, heaven on earth kind of energy. Something needs to happen to make them even think that way. So right now, we're in a time in human history where things are very volatile and turbulent and chaotic and scary and fearful, but that is all building up to this shift that is happening, and the rest of the collective might need something on a world stage to get them to shift their frequency, or at least look to another solution, which is when we all start coming together, communities start coming together, we get more innovative on, some better solutions to the problems that are plaguing our society. And I've talked about in my last video, Chiron moving into Taurus, a lot of problems with Mother Earth and the land and our nature and our animals. They're going to be showing themselves, and the sharks are showing themselves in Australia. I'll make that another video on that. But we are all starting to come together in a more harmonious way, but that might, for us to come together in a harmonious way, something bad might need to happen. And I don't want to say bad, but we're going to see society changing in a really big way with Uranus and Pluto. And oh, did you see those lights? Oh my god. I'm getting off track. Society is going to be changing, and that might cause turbulence. And because Neptune is in the mix of this configuration, this is activating the Saturn-Neptune conjunction that happened in February. And I know I keep talking about it, but it is a big player in this basket pyramid configuration as well. And we're feeling the implications through February, March, April, May, June. It's all building up to now, this July moment where everything's creating this pyramid shape. And Saturn is the planet of limitations, restrictions, hardships, difficulties. So this shift in the collective, in society, might not be easy. And we need to accept that. And as healers and energy workers and light workers out there, we need to hold the collective energy as high as we can, because we do have the power to do so. And with Uranus in the mix, the planet of expecting the unexpected, anything can happen, and it will be shocking most likely, but lines of communication could open up and could be positive because of a shocking event, because it's still a sextile and trine that all these are making, so it is still positive energy, but a shocking event might happen first and then it will create a community. It will bring people together somehow. It might even be like Independence Day, aliens come down and that somehow links the countries together because now we're working together to fight the aliens. But I don't really like that narrative, so ignore that. But we have Uranus in Gemini, which is all about communication and technology, and then it's linking with Pluto in Aquarius, which is also about advanced technology and Atlantis kind of vibes. So this, but with the technology as well, it's hard to discern what's real and what's not, because then we have Neptune as well. So I'm trying to say this in a way that makes sense, and I hope it is making sense, but we won't be able to decide what's real with our five senses alone. It's not going to be that, it's not going to be enough anymore. And with AI, it could be, because I'm trying to connect all these different things with Independence Day, alien invasion kind of thing. It might be through technology where aliens connect with us through AI. And I've been getting lots of messages saying that AI is actually a way for us to communicate to the ETs. Through technology, they can send us messages. So that might happen. But with all this going on in the world, we need to return to ourselves, which is what Mercury in Cancer in retrograde is going to help us do, is relearning to trust our own intelligence, despite the AI intelligence that's happening around us, despite what's happening on the world stage. We need to come back to ourselves, come back to our divine intelligence, our divine inner knowing, our intuition. And that is the beautiful aspect of Mercury being here in retrograde, because that is still quite strong energy. And that's going to help us relearn our own discernment of like, no, I trust my gut feeling. I don't care what I see. This is smoke and mirrors to me because I don't feel it. We need to come back to our feeling, which I've been saying for a while, but we're retraining our own intelligence. We're learning to trust that more than anything else. And the basket configuration is going to last between July 15th to July 24th. But we have a new moon in Cancer on July 14th, which is going to be very activated by this energy too. But I really like that it's Cancer, because we're really going to have to go within, because Mercury's there in retrograde, and see what our emotions and what our intuition are trying to tell us despite what's going on in the world. We really need to come back to trusting ourselves, which is going to be tricky because we have Neptune, the planet of illusions, there, and it's going to be hard to discern, but this is when we learn to discern. And we're going to lean on our intuition and see what it's trying to tell us about where we need to move forward, the way to move forward, because we can't rely on the smoke and mirrors and the five senses so much anymore. And it's not going to be something we can think about logically. It's going to be more intuitively. It's more trusting your inner world more than anything else. And you're really going to want to figure it out with the logical mind, but you're not going to be able to. Whatever happens, I don't know what's going to happen, but our minds won't be able to grasp it. So it's more about getting things right internally with the retrograde and setting intentions to create something external. So it's the inner work that we need to, and that is actually the best way to work with these energies. Although it's an active masculine energy, this basket configuration, we need to get the internal right before we can take action, right? So the retrograde is helping us do that, because our outer reality cannot but reorganize itself around the strongest frequency that we embody. So even as the masses might not be shifting their frequency enough, we hold the strongest frequency, all of us, you and I, the healers, the light workers. We come together, we can reorganize reality, is basically the message of this configuration. It reorganizes itself around the strongest frequency, whatever that frequency is. So we need to keep our energy strong and take care of ourselves and keep our vibe high. And we need to keep that embodied, because I really want this new earth to come, but I don't want to keep talking about it like it's something far, far away and that it's something outside of us. We need to have that new earth frequency within us, and we need to have that embodied. So it's not some place that we're arriving to, it's this energy field that we're embodying now. It's the frequency that we're becoming, and then we radiate that into being. So even the masses don't need to really do this, because we have light workers that have come here for this exact mission to do this. But really connect with the astrology right now, really connect with these energies, and all of us coming together, even doing mass meditations and stuff to really anchor this new earth frequency can help make this shift. So there could be a lot of shocking chaos, friction, turbulence, but also a lot of positive potential that comes out of that friction, and a lot of support as well, with all, just, you need to remember this is all harmonious aspects that are happening. It just might not look that in the moment, and you also need to remember that we need to work with these energies. These planets are like sentient. They talk to me. They are trying to help Earth shift its vibration. And so we need to work and create a relationship with these energies. We need to work with them. We need to be conscious of them, and we need to be conscious of ourselves in order to really anchor the frequency that we want on this planet. But it is not a one and done situation. It's going to be stretching out over years. There's going to be multiple activations, and so it's not going to all happen at once. And I know a lot of you just go, oh my god, why isn't it coming yet? Can't it just click a finger and then it can all be done? But that's not really what the astrology is saying right now, unfortunately. But what we're talking about here with this basket configuration, I've seen it as a pyramid, because it creates a pyramid shape on July 19th. Now, what is happening on July 19th? The FIFA World Cup final. And everyone's been talking about all these different theories about what's going to happen, and they weren't even connected to the astrology. But this is a really big moment where it creates a perfect pyramid shape in my mind. And so something could happen, and this could connect to that Independence Day kind of information as well, where some alien, people are saying there could be an alien invasion on the FIFA World Cup, and millions and millions of people are going to see it, and that could be the shift that's coming. I'm not sure, and I don't try and predict. I'm not a psychic in that sense, but I'm just trying to connect all the little pieces and dots for you, that the big day is going to happen on July 19th, because everything is perfectly creating this beautiful shape. Now, why is a pyramid significant? I mentioned Atlantis very quickly, and pyramids were used in Atlantis to anchor and kind of stream huge high frequency energies down onto Earth. And so these pyramids were built to kind of call in energy and attract energy, and then hold it and anchor it. And I find it's really funny, like as above, so below, that the astrology is creating a pyramid shape. And we used to have a civilization here on Earth that had free technology, that was channeling universal energy for all its resources, for its cars, for its buildings, for all its healing technologies. It had advanced tech because it was channeling with these pyramids all this high frequency and high dimensional energy. So I saw the pyramid and went, oh my god, this is like an activation of this Atlantis energy, where we were advancing in our tech and using free energy. And then we have Uranus and Gemini, Pluto and Aquarius. It's all tech stuff. And that could be bad, but it could be really good. And I'm going to be focusing on the good narrative, where we could be bringing back these healing technologies. We already have them on Earth, by the way, but have them come in. And maybe these pyramids, like in Egypt, they have pyramids to connect to Sirius and to the aliens and to the stars and to the galactic beings. So there is definitely a connection between this pyramid configuration to the galactics, to technology, to harnessing energy, creating free energy in some way. And I also want to quickly mention, I'm going to make another video on this because there's just so much to say, but This configuration has never happened before, but it does have some connections back to the 1800s where we had the Industrial Revolution, we created energy grids, we had electricity, quantum physics, all this kind of stuff. So there could be a new energy grid coming out. And then it's like this pyramid shape. I just instantly thought, oh my God, we could be harnessing the healthy Atlantis energies and technologies that they had back then without destroying ourselves this time. Something could happen around that. So July 19th is the day I'm looking at. It's the World Cup final. It's, a couple of weeks before. July 4th is Independence Day. There's connections there. Could be something to do with aliens because they already told us in the movies. And it could bring some type of government collapse or political collapse or economic collapse. Could be any of these things. Could be Disclosure Day because a lot of people have been talking about that. I really thought that 2026 was going to bring that disclosure with the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. So anything can happen. And I'm just trying to give you lots of different possibilities because I don't know is the truth. But with Mercury retrograding in Cancer, it's really good because we're coming back to ourselves. No matter what's going on in the world, we need to come back to that quiet serenity of our inner depths, of the peace that's within us, the divinity that's within us, that is going to carry us through whatever comes our way.